Hi everyone, I think I'll be live in a couple of seconds. So here I am one more time for another stream of Disobedient Media articles. I am Elizabeth Voss, Editor-in-Chief of Disobedient Media, and I am really glad to be here with everyone that's watching live and everyone who watches after we stream to read you another article that I hope will help more people hear our content in a way that is maybe a little bit easier to understand or take in. Sometimes when I read an article, I know that I'm skimming a little bit, and then if I hear someone read it out loud to me, it's a lot easier to really comprehend the content. So thank you again for watching, and I'll get right into it. The article today is Questions Remain After Eric Schmidt Steps Down from Alphabet. And this was a really important article for me when I wrote it, because it really, when I was researching it, and I had help researching this, I'll mention that individual at the end of this, at the end of reading, but when I was researching this particular topic, I found a lot of information that I had never been aware of previously. So for me, it was a groundbreaking story in my own awareness of this subject. So, and it was also, again, it was published on December 24th, 2017, so about a month ago. And so if I make time-dated references in the article, just know that was in December and not the current date, which is January 25th, 2018. Okay, starting on the article. The week leading up to Christmas has proven explosive for various aspects of the technological world. In a matter of days, Bitcoin's value plummeted drastically, and Eric Schmidt, executive chairman of Alphabet's board of directors, stepped down without naming a successor. The announcement raised a storm of questions as to the motive behind the decision and speculation as to Schmidt's future. CNBC reported that Alphabet, Google's parent company, had announced Schmidt would be transitioning to a technical advisory role and would continue to serve on the company's board. The Wall Street Journal related that Schmidt had published a statement on the matter, which read in part, quote, Google co-founders Larry Page and Sergey Brin, Google chief executive Sundar Pichai, and I all believe that the time is right in Alphabet's evolution for this transition. In recent years, I've been spending a lot of time on my science and technology issues and philanthropy, and I plan to expand that work. And that was a quote from Schmidt and from his statement on the matter. So the New York Post writes that that the timing of Schmidt's sudden move, along with the fact that Alphabet waited 3 days to disclose Schmidt had told the company he was stepping down, according to a filing, had raised serious questions. Some have speculated that the powerhouse was linked to sordid allegations similar to those leveled at Hollywood mogul Harvey Weinstein earlier this year. However, nothing of that nature has been revealed thus far, which leaves open a storm of questions as to the cause of his sudden removal. Excuse me. The New York Post wrote that a source close to Schmidt had said the move would allow him to have more of a hands-on role in developing artificial intelligence for defense. And then I quoted a WikiLeaks tweet on the subject that wrote, Google Alpha. Oh no, this was not on Schmidt's decision to step down. It was a 2016 tweet about Schmidt's role in the Clinton campaign, and it read, Google Alphabet chairman Eric Schmidt is ready to fund, advise, and recruit for Clinton campaign. And the WikiLeaks tweet quotes a WikiLeaks email, WikiLeaks publication of one of the Podesta emails. And back to the article. Schmidt gained notoriety during his tenure at Google and Alphabet for his involvement in politics as well as technology. He was a regular figure among the Hillary Clinton presidential campaign, even going as far as to donate the use of a private Google jet for the campaign's use. Press reports on the relationship between Schmidt and Clinton's campaign referred to his role his role as crucial. Courts wrote that Schmidt created a startup, which was described as, and they put it in these terms, the stealthy Eric Schmidt-backed startup was working to put Hillary's campaign. Good Lord, I'm sorry, to put Hillary Clinton in the White House. Emails published last year by WikiLeaks reveal that Schmidt supported the Clinton campaign as far back as 2015. The emails illustrate a close relationship between Schmidt and Clinton insiders, notably Bill Clinton and John Podesta. The Clinton campaign's chief of staff. One very early email exchange dating from 2014 shows Schmidt extending advice to Clinton insiders on the best way to structure the entire campaign from the ground up. Robbie Mook responded to Cheryl Mills regarding Schmidt's suggestions by writing, quote, "This is great and there's a lot of helpful stuff in here, but I think he and his effort should be focused on building the needed tools and not encompass campaign structure and launch dates, etc." And that was interesting because not only does it show that Schmidt was giving the Clinton campaign advice on how to structure the campaign from the ground up, but that it was so much advice that Cheryl Mills basically said, we don't want advice on that. We just want his advice on tech. Schmidt's involvement in Democrat Party politics did not end with his instrumental role in the Clinton campaign. He has been a regular speaker at Clinton Global Initiative events, and according to the Washington Post, he joined Kentucky Governor Steve Beshear, Al Gore campaign manager Donna Brazile, and election lawyer Mark Elias as a panel member of the Democratic Victory Task Force. I apologize. I'm totally stumbling over that phrase. I think it's all of the names for the task forces of the Democratic Party are easy to mangle. They really are. Anyway, though he is most well known politically for his involvement in Democratic establishment circles, over the years Schmidt has funded politicians on both sides of the aisle. And then I quoted an email from John Podesta actually, and it's telling it's to John Podesta, and it's regarding Schmidt donating the Google plane for the Africa trip, and this was in 2015, so it's for the campaign. And yeah, and then they're also talking about Robbie Mook and seeing the fact that they saw no harm in Bill Clinton meeting with Schmidt. So, and the link to that email is in the article as well if you want to read it yourself. Schmidt is also involved with a broad spectrum of philanthropic and NGO interests, ranging from the Council on Foreign Relations to the Trilateral Commission, the Broad Institute, and many others. He also served as a member of the United States President Council of Advisors on Science and Technology under Barack Obama, and continues in that role under Trump. Schmidt currently serves as the chairman of the board of directors for the New America Foundation. His position within the global power structure was noted by The Guardian, who described Schmidt, quote, "Bilderberg insider Eric Schmidt, who runs Google, once began a speech at Davos with the words, 'I assume everybody here agrees that globalization is wonderful.'" WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange has been a longtime critic of Google. He authored When Google Met WikiLeaks during his time under house arrest, detailing the various ways in which Google has become increasingly enmeshed within the structure of the American deep state. WikiLeaks' extract from the book describes a revolving door between Google, the State Department, and the United Nations, as well as the Council on Foreign Relations. Assange describes the close ties between Schmidt and then Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. He says, "Not only had Hillary Clinton's people known that Eric Schmidt Eric Schmidt's partner had visited me, but they had also elected to use her as a back channel." Assange added that while WikiLeaks had been deeply involved in publishing the inner archive of the U.S. State Department, the U.S. State Department had in effect snuck into WikiLeaks' command center and hit Assange up for a free lunch. He then described Google's evolution under Schmidt. His tenure as CEO saw Google integrate with the shadiest of U.S. power structures as it expanded into a geographically invasive megacorporation. Long before company founders Larry Page and Sergey Brin hired Schmidt in 2001, their initial research upon which Google was based had been partly funded by the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, DARPA. 48 is a source number, I apologize. And even as Schmidt's Google had developed an image as the overly friendly giant of global tech, it was building a closer relationship with the intelligence community. The crossover between Google and intelligence agencies and the military and state function, as described by Assange, is echoed by the structure and executive makeup of CrowdStrike. The company, with substantial funding from a Google subsidiary, is headed by a number of former long-serving figures from the FBI. CrowdStrike served the Democratic Party during the 2016 presidential campaign, which Schmidt was deeply embedded with himself, as shown in the contents of the Podesta email leak. CrowdStrike is also the only company to have examined DNC servers, and their word serves as the entirety of the basis for Russian hacking claims. Press reports indicate that Alphabet has financed Google Capital, which acts and acting as an arm of Alphabet, Google Capital then financed CrowdStrike to the tune of $100 million. That is a lot of money. Google Capital has rebranded and currently goes by the name Capital G. Capital G maintains on their website that, quote, our Google connection is our key asset. So they're not exactly trying to hide their connection to Google. Capital G reiterates that Capital G, formerly Google Capital, is a growth equity fund backed by Alphabet, and which is Google's parent company. So I want to make it really clear, because I know some people have misread not only this article, but other people have misinterpreted this connection, and they've said that Schmidt directly funded CrowdStrike. That's not. He was, the leader of Alphabet, which is obviously Google's parent company, but a Google subsidiary, Capital G, is the one that had funded CrowdStrike with $100 million. So it's not, there's a very, very strong connection there, but it's not the same thing as Eric Schmidt walking up and giving CrowdStrike $100 million out of his hand. It's a little bit more complicated than that. Okay. So Disobedient Media has extensively reported on CrowdStrike and on the convoluted role it has played in the Russian hacking saga stemming from the 2016 presidential election. This author has often cited the work of journalist Adam Carter when reporting on the connection between the company and the Goose for Two persona. As Disobedient Media previously reported, CrowdStrike is the only entity that has examined the DNC servers, and U.S. authorities, including the FBI, have not been allowed to access them in order to independently verify the firm's claim that Russians hacked the DNC. In fact, their claim was largely discredited due to the work of independent analysts known as the Forensicator, who showed that CrowdStrike's claim that Guccifer 2 hacked the DNC was extremely unlikely. During the course of his in-depth research on Guccifer 2, Adam Carter indicated a belief that CrowdStrike higher-ups, including former FBI Executive Assistant Director of the Criminal Cyber Response and Services Branch, Sean Henry, may have been behind the creation of Guccifer 2, the Guccifer 2 persona, in order to preemptively smear WikiLeaks with claims of Russian hacking in the lead-up to the publication of the DNC emails. If Carter's assessment is proven true, it could be of vital importance in understanding the context surrounding Schmidt's decision. I'm having a really bad time with those words. There's a certain sound in those words that I'm really tripping over right now. A decision to step down as executive chairman of Alphabet's board of directors. Many of CrowdStrike's former and current employees and executives have previously enjoyed government roles. Steven Chabinsky formerly served as Chief Risk Officer at CrowdStrike after serving as Commissioner on the President's Commission for Enhancing National Cybersecurity, as well as 15 years with the FBI in cybersecurity roles. So Chabinsky served as the Senior Cyber Advisor to the United States Director of National Intelligence, and the wife of CrowdStrike's president, who is Laura Henry. So CrowdStrike's president is Sean Henry, and his wife is Laura Henry, and she serves as the security specialist with the Department of Justice and has been involved in many significant cases, which include, I believe, the Osama bin Laden tapes, actually. If you click on the link, I've hyperlinked the phrase significant cases in this article. If you read the article, if you click on that link, it'll take you to the court documents of the Osama bin Laden tape case, and that involves Laura Henry. So, continuing. In essence, CrowdStrike's roster of ex-government officials and its funding via Google subsidiaries provides an exemplary model for the type of revolving door between government and cyber firms that Assange described in his book When Google Met WikiLeaks. While the impetus for Schmidt's decision to step down from his executive position at Alphabet cannot be known at this time, speculation has surrounded the move in days since it was announced. Possible reasons provided by the media range from sexual misconduct to artificial intelligence projects. However, one possible explanation for the sudden decision that has not previously been considered by legacy press is that the investigation into Russian hacking claims made by CrowdStrike and the DNC may have turned up some unsavory information about the company or the involvement of Mr. Schmidt in the saga as an insider to Clinton's campaign, and that this may have prompted him to step down without announcing a successor. Disobedient Media will continue to provide coverage of the story as it develops, and Kieran Barr contributed to the content of this report, and that was an investigator who brought some, or a source that brought some really great information to my attention that was the basis of this article. And thank you all for anybody who struggled through listening to this with me. I apologize, my throat is giving out and my voice is breaking a bit, so it was making it hard to pronounce some sounds there. I apologize. I will call it an evening for now, and I will be back once I have my video choppiness fixed, which I should be able to do within the next week. I will continue streaming at that point because I'd rather wait and be able to bring good quality streams to you all than continue to read out articles that I feel really happy about the content of and the way they were written in a really crappy way that I'll probably have to come back and redo later because they're so broken up. So, again, thank you everyone that's watching this live. You're amazing, and I really, really appreciate it because I know it's been a long time. These were some long articles, so thank you very much. I'm just reading chat very quickly. And that's all. So, I appreciate you all. Thank you. I'll see you in about a week when I get my video situation sorted out. Awesome. Bye, everyone.